Good day, ladies, gents. Hope everyone is doing well. This is going to be the first video for our ecosystems unit. Ecosystems is primarily biology-based. Biology being my favorite subject in science, is my passion. It was what I was educated in, so I'm going to try to do my best here. I'm using green as a color, and I've highlighted that. The idea of going green, it's not as crazy as everyone thinks it is, or at least as some people think it is. It's often just doing little things to improve the situation, which kind of sounds weird, but I really believe that that's the answer to all problems in life. You know, do the little things that make it easier on you and everyone else. Anyways, this is chapter 1, the interactions within an ecosystem. So I'll put that there. Should really have put ecosystems inside of a box or something like that. Would have been weird, but you know, this is what it is at this point. All right, I completely lost my train of thought there. Anyways, it is April 14th today, 2020. Whenever you watch this video, it's fine by me, but today is the 14th. This is primarily designed for my grade 9 science class, but ecosystems are taught throughout the curriculum, so if you're watching this and say you're in grade 7 or a bit earlier, hey, welcome aboard. As you know, it is Mr. Benjamin here. Smiley face, probably hitting the hand, but that's okay. I feel that iron. So, learning goals for this lesson. Describe ecosystems and the key terms associated with ecosystems. There's quite a few of them, and I've actually cut this down significantly, but you know, you can talk, at least I can talk about this stuff for days, but no one wants to hear that. We're going to differentiate, which is one of my favorite words, and identify both biotic and abiotic factors. The key phrase in both these terms is bio. Well, biotic, and then an abiotic, it's abio, and I'll discuss what that means. Third, we're going to discuss the organization of life within an ecosystem. This is something that I bring up a lot when I'm talking about biology, because again, organization, that's what we want as scientists. We want everything to have its own label, its own file, its own name, so we can refer to it quickly and easily and identify it. And then the last thing is we're going to define sustainability and, one of my favorite words, stewardship. This is very important to me in my life, and I'll describe why. Key terms, starting with ecosystem as a whole. Okay, I don't know if green on green looks good there, but whatever. All of the relationships among the living things within a community, we're going to get to this word community on a future slide, and their interactions with the non-living things. So it's living things and non-living things, and how they interact with each other. You might think, you know, only living things interact with living things, but if you think about where a person lives, the air a person breathes, if someone's living in an aquatic ecosystem in water, those are all interactions. You know, if one animal lives in water, another animal hunts in water, that interaction takes place within a non-living thing, which is that water. So I'll put H2O here for that. Keep that in mind. And there's a lot of different relationships that take place within an ecosystem that we have to consider. Often we think about the health of an ecosystem. The health of an ecosystem will depend on both the living and non-living things within it. The amount of different species within that ecosystem is also dependent on both living things and non-living things, because certain living things require other non-living things to exist. I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but that's okay at this point because I will describe further detail. Ecology, anything that ends in the ology thing. The ology term means the study of, right? So biology is the study of life, psychology is the study of the mind, things like that. Eco is living things. So the study and relationships, or the study of relationships among living things in their environment. That's what ecology is. Ecological niche. Some people say niche. I don't like the way that sounds, so I say niche. It is the role or way of life for any organism in an ecosystem. Okay, so if you think about birds, their niche is flying, creating nests, living in trees, eating worms, eating seeds, things like that. Whereas a squirrel's probably not going to eat a worm. A squirrel's probably going to eat some nuts, but different types of nuts. They do live in trees, but they don't live in nests, different things like that. The reason why some animals thrive in an ecosystem and other animals fail, or certain animals live in specific ecosystems, is because of their niche. It's because it's everything they do, their role, or their way of life. Okay? A big part of this becomes ethics, and it leads to morality. Why would I bring this up? Well, it's tough. Can you ask a squirrel about their morality or their ethics? Does a squirrel make decisions based on what's right or wrong? Does it make a decision based on survival? It's very, very difficult to think about, but if we think about humans, we should be living through a code of ethics or morality, but often we do not. For example, in order for us to live, we need to build some form of dwelling or home or house, whatever that is. And quite often, many of us live in homes that are extravagant, take up a lot of land and use up a lot of resources. That probably isn't very ethical, okay? Humans will also go out and hunt. Okay, hunting, if you kill an animal, you use its meat, you consume it, you use its fur, its skin, whatever it is, the bones, you do something with them, that's great. Often, some humans will go out and hunt and will not use the animal, and they'll just take the life for no reason. That again plays into the ethics and morality. If you think about carnivores or hunters in wildlife, a lion isn't going to go out and kill a zebra just for fun, right? It's going to kill it because it needs to eat it to feed its family. It's the same with a tiger or a cheetah or anything else like that. We also have certain animals, and we discuss this in future videos, for example, vultures. Vultures don't actually hunt. What they do is they go out and eat the leftovers of other animals' killings. So they're very important. They're scavengers, really, is what they're called. And again, this will come up in later videos, but this all plays into that concept of ethics, morality, and an ecological niche, okay? I'm getting really crazy here with the lines, so I'm going to eliminate some of these. Keep scavengers on there. But yeah, keep this in mind throughout, because it's a big topic for me as well. A sustainable ecosystem is an ecosystem that is capable of withstanding, great word, withstanding, and giving support to a variety of organisms. So sustainability, you can also think of it another word of survivability. Survivability. I probably spelled that wrong, but that's okay. Okay. The ability for an ecosystem to survive is based on all of the factors within the ecosystem. A very clean, healthy-looking ecosystem, you can visualize that in your mind, is going to survive better than an ecosystem that's polluted or has a lot of toxins within it, or maybe an area that humans have come in and perhaps dumped some materials that they shouldn't have done, Looking at two different factors, we have biotic and abiotic factors, okay? So we did talk about that word bio. This means life or living. Life/living. Okay? And this abiotic, abio, anytime you have an A in front of a word like that, it means the opposite. So this is not living or no life. Okay? So biotic factors, living factors in an environment. For example, animals. That's probably the biggest living factor in an environment. You can also think of microorganisms. For example, plankton. Or can't really think of anything else right now, but I'm sure more will come up. Within animals, we can think of both humans, fish, birds, wildlife, etc., etc., etc. I should say etc., but either way. Abiotic, these are non-living physical factors, okay? There's no psychological abiotic factors in an environment. At least we haven't discussed those yet. Probably never will, but for example, water, wind, temperature, soil conditions, for example, pH, pollution. Now, a lot of people might think, shouldn't pollution be a biotic factor because humans cause it? It's not living, so pollution is actually abiotic. I mean, one could make the argument that because it comes from humans that it really should be, but whatever it is. Other things we can think about, rocks. Certain organisms live or grow off of rocks, so they kind of need them to be there. Humidity. If you are a gardener, if you have a green thumb, I'm pretty sure I spelled humidity wrong. I'm going to erase this and try to talk at the same time. If you know anything about planting, you know that certain plants need different conditions to live. And if you've ever tried growing a tropical plant in a non-tropical area, you know the humidity is way too low and they will not survive. It's very sad, but they won't. So if I look at this image here, first of all, this is beautiful. If you look at this and you don't think it's beautiful, I don't know, maybe you got to get back to nature. So if I say biotic, and then on this side, abiotic, you should be able to look at this image and list certain things. The first thing that stands out to me is the moose. Moose is definitely a biotic factor here. Now, I don't really see any other animals, but I can assume in this area, especially up here, there's probably going to be some birds. In the water, there's probably going to be some fish. Maybe in this high grass area, maybe there's some tigers. Probably isn't, but who knows? There could be. Now, between all of these, especially tigers and the moose, there's going to be some predation. Okay, that looks really poor, so I'm going to write it again. So that's the predator-prey relationship between the moose and the tiger, right? Now, I've never seen a tiger go after a moose. I'm not even sure if they live in the same areas, but it could be any animal that a tiger is attacking, right? So that's a big thing. Between birds and fish, there could also be predation, because birds often will eat fish. In many cases, certain birds could be going after the same fish that other fish are going after for. So that's actually called competition. Competition. I think I spelled that right. Spelling's never been my strong suit, but it's okay. If I consider some abiotic factors, it'll be the same as this list right here, basically. So water is there. Wind / air. Maybe there's no wind, but there's definitely air around, otherwise we're all going to die. One big thing I didn't talk about here is plants. Plants are definitely living. Don't ever tell me they're not. Okay, what else we got? There's for certain going to be some rocks inside of this water. Water, wind, rocks. Rocks doesn't look like rocks at all. I'm going to change that. The temperature, the humidity, the pH of the soil. Another thing we didn't talk about is salinity, which is the amount of salt in the water. Fresh water versus salt water. Fresh versus salt. Because some organisms live in salt water, other organisms live in fresh water. So if there's any others you see in here that I've missed, please let me know. I'm wondering, maybe, is this a bird? I don't think so. I don't know what that is. The organization of life. This can be looked at two different ways. First of all, as an individual. So that means you or me. You, me, person A, person B, etc. Okay? At a cellular level, or at a microscopic level, we are composed of cells. All living things are made up of cells. So cells, those little things that have the nucleus, the mitochondria, the Golgi apparatus. That kind of looks like a donut with maybe some sprinkles on it, but it's a cell, trust me. A group of cells together creates tissue. So I'm just going to draw some striated muscle tissue, because that's the first one that comes to mind. But this could be connective tissue, like blood or bones, or it could be epithelial, like skin or whatever. Organs. Let me change up the color here. All tissue put together creates an organ. That's the similar tissue creates organs. So I'm going to do my best to draw a heart. That's what we think about when we draw hearts. Now, if I were to draw a heart with valves in it, God, it's going to be tough. I wish I had a picture to look at. I'm going to draw the aorta first. Ventricles, atrium, ventricle, atrium. This will have veins coming out of the side. That really doesn't look like a heart. I'm sorry, I'm not an artist. I can't draw. Organs working together create organ systems. So, I'm going to do my best, again, to draw a set of lungs. I really should have gotten pictures for this. Now, the heart's on the inside. Now, the heart will deliver blood throughout the body, so that's through the arms. That's going to the head. So we'll go to the bottom parts of the body, the legs and stuff. Anyways, that would be the respiratory system or the circulatory system, whichever you want to look at it. And then organ systems together create an organism. And what's an organism? A person. Easy peasy. How happy this guy is to be alive. Yeah, maybe give him a hat. A little bit of top hat action. Alright, good. Maybe some hands too. Okay. And some shoes. And maybe a shirt and pants, I don't know. Pants. Shirt. He's good. He's happy. Okay, so that is for an individual. That is for any living thing. The creative cells, which make up tissue, which make up organs, organ systems, and an organism. Now, if we're looking at the environment as a whole, how is life organized within the environment? So, that same organism that we started off with here, groups of the same organism create a population. For example, human beings. That is a population. Groups of populations living together create a community. Okay, so humans and birds and what other living? Squirrels, chipmunks, raccoons, for example. All of these things living together create a community. Okay. Organisms living in populations within the community interacting with different factors, biotic and abiotic factors, create an ecosystem. Okay, so squirrels living on a rock. I don't know why a squirrel is living on a rock, but if a human goes and picks up that rock and moves it, you've now affected that ecosystem, the place the squirrel lives. Ecosystems that are similar are called biomes. We've talked about biomes before, at least you've probably learned about them. Tundra, deciduous forests, grasslands, deserts, mountainous areas, things like that. And biomes altogether create the biosphere, which is another word for the earth. Okay, probably the most beautiful thing you'll ever see in your life is the earth. Getting in a bit more detail, so the definitions, all right? Definitions. It's always hard to write things on the spot. Anyways, organism, single living thing. You, me, brothers, sisters, parents, cats, dogs, squirrels, whatever it is. Any living thing. A population is the number of organisms of the same species living in an ecosystem. Okay, so all the humans living in an area, all the squirrels, all of the cats or dogs or birds, hawks, raccoons, all of those individuals put together of the same species would be a population. The community is made up of all the populations within an ecosystem. So if I combine cats, dogs, birds, raccoons, squirrels, chipmunks, humans, I'm sure there's something glaring that I can't think of right now, but all of those populations put together create a community. Okay? Ecosystem is a system of living things interacting with each other. Okay? All of those communities interacting with each other create an ecosystem. Right? A biome is a collection of related ecosystems, so like the tundra, for example. And the biosphere is all the ecosystems on Earth. Biosphere is a big ball of life. The Earth is a big ball of life. Easiest way to remember that one. I'm going to get rid of all these annotations that I've drawn on. Quickly, easy peasy. Now, I'm going to look at this from a school perspective. Okay? School. Did I spell that right? Man, spelling's off today. So, say you are a student in grade 9. Student in grade 9. You are an organism living in high school, secondary. All right? Your population would be all the grade 9 students. All grade 9 students. With me so far? You are in grade 9. Your population is all the grade 9 students. The community is all the populations within an ecosystem. So, all of grade 9, 10, 11, 12, admin, teachers, etc. So hopefully you're still with me. I'll go through it really quick. You are a student in grade 9. Your population is all the grade 9 students. The community is all of grade 9, 10, 11, 12. Administration, teachers, etc., support staff, EAs, custodians, secretaries. Often those individuals are more important than the teachers or administration themselves. Not trying to play favorites or anything, but you know. Your ecosystem. This is all of these groups interacting with each other. So that day-to-day business, what does it look like? How are those interactions taking place? Are there resources being transferred from one side to the other? The biome is a collection of all the related ecosystems. So different schools, so high school versus elementary, grade school / secondary. Sorry, the writing's getting worse and worse, and the hand is here anyways, but you know. And the biosphere is still the biosphere, everything on Earth, big round, living thing. So hopefully that makes sense. One more topic I want to touch on, sustainability, very close to my heart. 20 minutes in, so I'm going to try to make this quick. The ability to maintain a certain rate or level, maintaining an ecological balance without depleting natural resources. Without depleting natural resources. Humans are not good at that. Humans are terrible at that. Humans are actually the worst part of the world right now, but we're working on it. We're getting better. Stewardship. This is near and dear to my heart. This is very important to me, okay? Stewardship is the responsibility, we all have a responsibility of taking care of something, okay? Whether it's your family at home, whether it's a pet, whether it's your siblings, whatever it is, we all have a responsibility, okay? Humans, as a whole, we are the stewards of the earth. God gave us the earth. He said, please take care of it. That is one thing that we failed at, and we need to get better at doing that. So, does this idea look familiar? You got your garbage bin here. Highlight. That's a really bad highlighted job. Let's do it this way. You got your food wastes. Sideways highlighter is no good. You got your recycling. And honestly, it doesn't matter where I go, I will always see things on the ground. Okay? And it really bothers me. And there's been many times in my life where I stop and I go towards this garbage and I actually pick up the garbage and I put it in the bin. People will tell me, why are you doing that? That's not your job. So yeah, I know, but if someone else failed at their job and it's causing problems, I'm going to try to fix it. Okay? So everything has a place. Whoa, my can disappeared. I don't know how that happened. But let me try to put the eggs in here. Yeah, the eggs are still in there. Food waste. This banana and this cracked eggshell. Put it in the food waste. That's what it should look like. Everything has a bin. Everything has a spot. It's people's jobs to collect this material and get rid of it for us. But we need to do our part. Do your part. Please and thanks. All right, we're into 23 minutes now. So we'll say thank you. Hopefully you've made it all this way. Always appreciate it. Everyone have a great day and please take care of the earth.